Over. Roger, understand. Go for landing. Eagle looking great. Houston, the Eagle has landed.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Brofessionals, a rotating show that goes from each bro's channel from week to week. And today, the Eagle has landed here, right here on the station. And for all those folks that may be watching on Twitter, welcome, because this is the first time I'm actually broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So today we are going to dive into the funny, the very difficult but very funny art of the panel gag, the panel cartoon. Difficult to do and pull it off right, but there are so many masters out there, and we're gonna pull some of our favorites and talk about them, and hopefully we'll all get a laugh together. So let's bring in a little fella named Lopez. There he is.
You missed that last night on Kings. He referred to me. Ethan was trying to say, "Oh, let's take a look at a little campaign." And he was going to say Wraith of God, but he ended up saying this little fella's campaign. Okay, so now I'm a little fella called Lopez.
You keep getting more and more nom de guerres, if you will.
I know, it's crazy, but I said, "You're calling a 6'2" guy, 6'2", 200 pounds, a little fella? Are you kidding me? Come on now."
Well,
so
if you want to be hip, it would be a little fella.
Little. That's right. I had changed that.
But you know who's not little? Cordrath and the man who created him, Mr. Andy Smith.
Yes, hello.
Welcome, Andrew.
Welcome. Good evening.
Okay, and then we have the high tea man himself, Mr. New Chops, Mr. Art Thibert.
Yeah.
Show us those teeth. Look at that. Nice.
Look at those pearly whites.
It only cost me $6,000, but I got a new bridge and I got some new parts yesterday, and the pain was nothing compared to the payment.
Yeah, I was going to say the pain when you open your wallet is way worse than the.
I literally, when he told me how much, because we went to breakfast the other morning, and I bit into they call them taquitos here. They're like breakfast tacos.
Yeah.
And the teeth, it didn't just break, it kind of like shattered, like the teeth, like they shot out. Yeah.
Holy shit.
And so yeah, I needed to get some new choppers, and
Speaking of single gag cartoons, my
God. Really.
Yeah, I don't know how it did it. I mean, it shot back and out, so like I had choking on my teeth.
Just exploded.
They must have been cracked or something and just ready to go, because a taquito, that shouldn't be that hard, right?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
There was a little chip in it, but maybe that was just enough over the years that it compromised it, and then it just it literally exploded.
Hey, I broke off my tooth, my actual tooth, eating a hamburger once. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" And so,
how well done was it?
Very well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like eating bread, and I broke a tooth. Are you kidding me? But
a brick.
Well, bread can do
ready
it.
to go, man.
You know, it's a tough bread. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of things that can make your teeth go boom, and one of them might be Fraga boom.
Boom, baby.
How are you guys?
Hey, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing crazy. There's the missus.
Hello.
Hey.
I
They're all
like the new
saying hi.
color. Tell her I like the new color.
They say they like the new color.
Thank you.
Nice.
Not them.
Yeah.
Dan, I got to tell you, with that old man beard and that hat, when she walked into the frame, I'm like, is that a daughter I've never seen before? So
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Dan married
Well,
up.
The good thing is I can shave all of this.
That's right, and be young again.
That's right. That's right.
So, did you get some cool cartoons, Dan?
You know I did. I got some classics. Like I had to hunt them down, but they were all ones I remembered from being a kid.
Cool.
And I pulled them up. I grabbed 4.
Okay,
Grabbed
perfect.
4. Yeah,
Perfect.
I went from pretty tame to suggestive.
Nice. I have a couple edgy ones, which
Nice.
just I mean, I actually laugh out loud with some of these the first time I read them, and that's hard to do.
Oh yeah.
I'm hoping that you guys, you'll tell us about why you picked that one and what you find so funny about it.
Absolutely, that's the best part.
Yeah. So let's start with a little fella called Lopez.
Little fella called Lopez.
Little fella. Okay.
Hey there, little fella. What do you got?
Well, I decided to, what I tried to do when I was looking for these panel gags, I mean, you can go on Google and go, okay, show me all, one panel cartoon gags. But that doesn't really help, because you want to get ones you remember, right? That stuck out to you and said, oh yeah, I remember that. When the first time I read that, it cracked me up.
Right.
And I knew there was several that had done that. One came right to mind. That's what I'm going to show first.
Okay.
But then going through, like, say, The Far Side or something like that, and trying to find like those couple that really resonated with you, that was a harder chore. But we'll get to that on the second wave. On the first one, this is a guy I've actually met twice and bought original art from. A heck of an artist who's also colorblind, which I find very interesting.
Colorblind?
Yeah.
Like John Byrne?
Is Byrne colorblind?
Yeah.
Colorblind?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Sure.
All right,
is.
there you go. I think it is shareable there, Graham.
Okay.
This is Peter DeSev.
Yeah.
Famous
Nice.
for his New Yorker covers for years, and also design work on like movies like Robots and Ice Age. This is called Batman the Musical. And when I saw this cartoon, it just cracked me up, because I think when you go with a gag cartoon, a single panel, I think the artwork or the style of the artwork has to carry it as much weight as the joke itself in a lot of cases, right? So if you didn't have these characters as diverse looking and the expressions on them, it wouldn't have been as funny, just saying Batman the Musical. It could have been really dumb. But because of how he drew these characters and these guys that are like, the guy singing on stage, the guy with the glasses peering behind, just the whole setup just cracked me up when I saw this. And this has always been one of my favorites since I saw it anyway.
Beautifully done.
15 years ago. It was one of my favorite single panel gag cartoons I've ever seen. And now it's interesting. Again, the guy colorblind doing these watercolor techniques, because all of his work is watercolor, and it's always sort of subtle and muted like this, but it's always really effective. And you just I can't imagine what that's like, to be colorblind and trying to put together color images.
Yeah.
I think it would do it with there's another very talented colorist in our industry, Chris Leitner. You remember Liquid?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which was Aaron Lucen and Chris Leitner. Chris is also colorblind, and he did it. He was telling me he does it by math, like he understands what the numbers and percentages mean.
Wow,
so he's literally using color theory. Like the value is all there, but as far as understanding the color theory of it, it's all math. Yeah.
They were like the first big color house.
Really were.
Well, the first really amazing color house. I mean,
Yeah.
you had no knock on anybody, but we had Digital Chameleon. We had Ollie Optics with Steve Olaf, who basically started the thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you had Clydeen Nee. She had her separation place, and then Rob started Extreme Color, and then Jim started his, and Mark started his. But Chris and Aaron both came out of Rob's studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they actually started. We all started together. So when we left, we all shared studio space. So we had Chris and Aaron in there. They had an assistant, and so Liquid. I remember when they were coming up with the logo and stuff, when they were branding Liquid and everything. And Jeff and I got him his first work. Their first work was actually coloring my Marvel tryout cover that I did.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
My favorite stuff my favorite stuff from them was the stuff that they did with you and Carlos. All of that, like the X-Men stuff, the Shang-Chi,
Oh yeah,
the Iceman. It's the first time Iceman looked like he was made out of ice. Like I was like,
Yeah.
holy crap, how do they do this? And of course, what they did on Battle Chasers and Soul Saga and the Ultimates 3.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible stuff.
Yeah.
And then they went off and started doing video games with Matsuda and those guys.
That's right. That's right.
But that's not the subject tonight.
No, it's not.
Well, let me throw. I'm cheating here, but since we're talking about Peter DeSev, let me throw one more out here at you guys.
Sure.
You've probably seen. I don't know if you'd really consider it a gag cartoon. He actually did this for, Disney Fine Arts, where they hire artists to do like representations of their characters and don't pay them anything to do it, but everybody does it because they want to be. They want to be Disney Fine Arts, right? It's typical Disney, right? So go ahead and share that, Graham, if you will. I have this on my wall,
I've seen that.
Oh yeah,
wow.
which is hilarious.
I remember this
called
one.
It's Easy Being Green.
Is that the same one? Is that the same guy, rather?
Yeah.
DeSev?
It's Peter DeSev again.
Wow.
And once again, you're colorblind artist using these sort of muted colors, but effectively creating another really cool illustration. Really
The
funny.
value is all there. The value is
Yeah, that's
all
just
there.
it. I mean, as long as the value's there,
That's
you
true.
can plop any color on it, and
Yeah.
it should work. So
Well, doesn't that make you that much more angry at this stuff? It's so beautiful, and then to realize like the guy doesn't even see the color.
I know.
Like it would be hard for like somebody like me to do something like this, and then this guy just makes it look easy, and he can't even see the color.
Yeah. No, it's terrific. And just that expression on Yoda's face.
Yeah.
They look like they just smoked a fatties with this.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say what would make this is to have an igloo, a cooler full of beer.
Yeah,
There you
That's
go.
how I fish.
Yeah.
exactly. But I'm sure you can't even. I can't even imagine how. If you did something for Disney Fine Arts, how editorially controlling they would be. I can't even imagine.
Oh yeah.
Because there's this gal, I can't think of her name, but she was kitty corner across from my booth in San Diego, and she did like several pieces for Disney, like Merida from Brave, but it was her own take on it. It wasn't, they weren't doing the animation style, and a couple others, and she was the one that was telling me that, what a pain in the butt working for, Disney, but it's such a great feather in your cap to be able to say, yeah, I've got a print for Disney Fine Arts, and she had done several, and I guess they give her, you get a certain amount that they allow you to sell or something, but she just said the pay was just ridiculously
Yep.
bad.
Wow.
The
Wasn't
pay
worth
is
it.
really, really bad. Brian Miller, the colorist,
Yeah.
he makes like fine art prints, and he sells them in the Disney gallery and things.
Mm.
Yeah, and so I was talking to him about that. At one point, my daughter, who paints, was looking into that stuff, but the pay is so bad. And like you said, just the creative control, or the editorial control, I should say, is really tough. Yeah.
Yep.
Humberto Ramos has done some fine art prints for the Disney
Oh wow.
gallery.
Same with J. Scott Campbell.
Yeah, he does a lot actually. J. Scott Campbell.
Well, they must figure they're making money on the back end, right? If they got X amount of those prints that they're allowed to sell or whatever, that's where they're going to make their money back, and maybe selling the original because
And maybe just exposure. Just
well, it's true.
It's
Yeah.
a prestige thing, but I gotta say, working for big companies like it, I think the worst experience I ever had wasn't with Disney, or because while they are in control editorially, they pay you for your time. At least if you structure it that way.
Mhm.
Working for record labels is, I think, the worst experience I ever had.
Oh,
That's
really?
yeah, I did. There was a pop singer back in the early 2000s named Ashley Simpson,
Mhm.
and I art directed
the lip
her.
syncer.
Yeah. I art directed that whole CD, the look of the CD, the jewel case, all of it. In fact, if you look inside of it, I hit a D and B for Dan and Brianna. I hit it in there just for the heck of it.
Nice.
But the problem I had during that entire process is I had the artist and what the artist expected, the manager who happened to be her mom and what she wanted, and then what the record label wanted. And it never seemed like they agreed, you know. You know, the artist is saying, I want it more blue. And then the management saying, we want blue, but we want it more on the red side. And then the label saying, avoid red and blue at all costs.
Nice.
And you're going, fuck. You know, how do I convince the momager that yellow is also red? You know?
Well, if they're colorblind, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, musicians are the worst, man. I used to do logos for LA bands, and
there you go.
Man, they just want the world, and they have no idea that you can't always get the world into a single logo.
Yeah.
Holy
What
smokes,
do you got,
man.
Andy?
Starting out with, so I didn't pick favorite specific single panel because I don't really, I don't have a good memory for that stuff. So I just went with artists that I really enjoy and stuff. I mean, you can share it. We all know who this guy is. Doug Sneed. Is it Sneed?
Oh, yeah. That's
He's
Playboy
good.
right
That
there.
I mean,
It's good.
just his everything about it, his color, the line, even the, you know, when you see these in black and white or
His
gray
women,
tone,
dude.
whatever.
You know,
His women.
His female forms are so well drawn.
Those
And
faces,
just
too. They were
the
so
acting.
Yeah,
Yes.
the acting, yeah.
And
Blow it
that's
up,
what really
Andy.
comes down to, because each one of his really does tell a nice story with all the details and stuff that he puts into his piece. You know, and then compositionally, the way, you know, this one just kind of has a nice circular thing going on to lead your eye around and really focus in on her. You know, the guy leaning in with the flushed cheeks. I mean, just everything about his work. I remember first seeing it it was one of the other bonuses I found being an artist after picking up a Playboy. I was like, nude women and awesome artwork? What is this magazine?
I know. What other things
did
did
I want to read the text. I want to read the gag.
It says, my husband said we should have sex more often, but he didn't say with who.
Okay.
I like the bartender that's trying to get a shot at her legs there. He's like,
Yeah, leaning over.
Yeah, what a perv.
And I would almost say these were probably dyes because of the vibrancy of the color compared to watercolor. You know, just the opposite of like
It could
what
be.
Aaron was showing.
It depends on the brand, though. You know,
Yeah.
like Schminke watercolors are really loud, you know.
It could also depend on the photography, the scanning of it too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
true.
true.
'Cause that stuff never reproduces right.
Yeah.
From the
So
Look at how
great.
many bad reprints of Frazetta paintings there are, and then you go see them, and you're like, "Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at the color in this."
But yeah, so this is as soon as you said single panel stuff, this was one guy that just popped to mind.
Perfect. I saw
Because
a bunch of
you know
stuff I was looking-
it's you just look at this and go, man, I would love to see a whole comic book drawing like, you know.
Yeah.
Like
It's just
this.
the drawing is so good, and you usually don't. I shouldn't say usually, but a lot of times you'll see, you know, gag cartoonists like say Jules Pfeiffer or somebody like that. It's not about the drawing, right? It's about the gag or it's about the style or whatever.
Right.
This guy really draws well, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes it
Yeah,
much more enjoyable. At
Yeah, I was
least
going to
when
say,
I'm
like you could tell, like he understands things. He draws from life, but he's great at cartooning it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is real stuff, but he's just great at cartooning it, and that's not just a straight cartoonist or a straight, realistic artist. It's like this great hybrid of the two, and you don't see it very often. You see either like cartoonists that go to the ultimate cartoon route, or you get like the ultimate realist, but you very rarely see this kind of combination of the two. And I think that's why it stands out so well. Is it's just so
I think
good.
comic book wise, when Andy said it'd be great if there would be a comic book done like this, The closest I've seen as far as a comic book done like this, except it doesn't feature humans, is Black Sad
Black
by
Sad.
Wan
Yeah.
Ho,
Oh
who has
yeah.
this sort of attention to detail
Yeah.
and acting, and it's got that lush watercolor and lighting,
Yep.
and but it's all like bears and cats and lizards and
Yeah,
shit.
it's all animals and stuff.
Well,
But
yeah,
once
but
again, I mean, that guy
Stuff
is
like
just so
this, I
good.
think.
And
Yeah.
some of those animals are pretty damn sexy.
We got a furry on
Meow.
board.
Hey, we got a furry.
We
got a furry.
alert.
Hey, you know what? I'm a scaly. I like lizard people.
Yeah, it's scaly.
Perfect.
Shaved
What do you
the
got,
fur.
Art?
Well, I got one of my all-time favorites, and it's always my go-to. And let me present all this to you. Let me find it. Where are you? There you are. Boom, boom, baby. So Charles Addams, can you see this?
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and
That's it.
yeah, I love this. And when I was doing a little research, I didn't realize that he does great landscapes too. Like he can draw realistic, or at least paint landscapes very
Look at
realistic.
that,
I don't know
a
about people.
Victorian house in perspective at night
Yeah.
with winter setting. And then figures too, the lighting, everything about that is amazing. I mean, that guy can draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that the first Barry Sonnenfeld family, what's it called? Family Values, the movie.
Adam's Family.
Addams
Yeah.
Family Family Values, and
Those are
they used this to open the movie. And I don't know if
That
you can
gag, you mean?
Yeah,
That-
this
that-
gag.
yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you can see this, but these are Christmas carolers down here.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, let me thank 200 Watt Studio for that $2 super chat. The best, of course, is Family Circle, and who can argue with that?
That's up there. Kane. Can't mess with Kane.
Yes. And so I have this. It wasn't always Addams Family stuff. There's just some great Lover's Leap, and look, he's got a cigarette in his hand.
Is there a gag, or is that just visual?
It's just this is it.
That's
Yeah,
it?
yeah. It's just
Because
like
it looks like she's saying something to him. You know?
oh yeah.
Oh, there is a gag.
Well, I'm ready if you are. Yeah, they're gonna
Okay.
they're gonna take the leap. Yeah, and
He's smoking a cigarette.
Yeah. And this I like with these gangsters. Their bullet shells are flying all over the place. They're probably shooting at the cops, and the lady's cleaning up all the bullet
mother's
shells.
cleaning it up.
And she's not happy though.
No,
Yeah.
she's pissed.
Like,
Yeah.
Boys,
Yeah.
you're messing up my living room.
Yeah. This was 59. I mean, this is great stuff. I mean, it's dark humor, but it's laugh out loud. So yeah, I really like it, and I love the art style too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just great. The ink wash. I don't think he ever did anything in color. It was always kind of the gray tones.
Yeah.
But just
Well,
great
It
stuff.
fits his humor, you know.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
probably back during that period of time, maybe the black and white printing on the interior of those magazines, maybe that's what his options were for the people he was working for too. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it could be the magazine, like Playboy printed in full color.
Right, but maybe a lot of these printed black and white stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And line cartoons, and so he went in with a wash to kind of
Mhm.
make his a little bit, cooler, and that might have still been, restricted by the black and white format too. So
Yeah,
great.
I've never seen just a line art drawing by him. It's always got the tones
Yeah.
in there.
it's always got the ink wash in there.
But yeah, this thing is fantastic.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
love that one. That is just gorgeous. It looks almost like a bizarre Currier and Ives painting, because if you look in the background there where that house is off in the distance, you take the Addams Family out of it, and it's a Currier and Ives type picture for winter scene,
Mhm.
I love in all the Charles Addams stuff. What was it called in the wartime where they had that guy that would kind of look over things?
Oh, Kilroy.
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 And so there was
Leroy
always
here.
there was always this like Kilroy character that would show up in his cartoons. And the thing
It's right there.
yeah, he's right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
The corner
Where
of
is
the
he?
building. You can see
Right,
his,
right on the cornice there. It's like I don't know if that was like the ant I think that's the ant.
Oh yeah, that does look like the ant.
Yeah, but the thing is, these weren't fully realized characters. They didn't even have names.
Right.
So when he was doing this, there was no Morticia, there was no Gomez, there was none of this stuff. So these are just like reoccurring characters that he did, and it's amazing that the names, even the Addams Family, came out of the TV show. So a lot of the lore that we know actually came out of the TV show.
Sure, because it was named after him, not the
Right.
characters. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so
almost
none
like
of
the
them-
Ninja Turtles. You know?
Really? They didn't have names?
No, they did, but what I'm saying is like a lot of the stuff that people quote on Ninja Turtles, like Cowabunga and the pizza and like I like the purple one and all that, that's out of the TV show and not the original comic.
Ah, okay.
Wasn't Kryptonite? Didn't that come from the radio shows or something too? Like
Yes.
Superman, there was a lot of lore that came out of the radio shows
Yeah.
as well. Yeah.
Although they did find a comic book that preceded the radio show that had kryptonite in it, and it was interesting. They never printed it because the basic story was it introduced this metal that could kill Superman, and he's trapped in this cave, and he has to reveal his identity to Lois. And at the end of the story, Lois knows that he's Clark Kent, and she wants to be his helper.
I'll bet.
I could work for you. I could help you out and keep your secret identity and all that kind of stuff. And I thought that would have been such a cool change in the form for her to know that back then. This was like in the early 1940s. And they never printed it. They never printed it.
Wow.
You can still find pages and you can still find them online. That story.
Interesting.
It's pretty cool to read and read it in its context.
Man, that would have changed the whole dynamic, wouldn't it have, if they'd gone forward with that?
Yeah. That she's working with him, and that maybe they've got this romantic thing going on the side, that would be really cool.
Or
They
it
could
ends
always
with him
use-
going, I can't let my secret get out, and he snaps her neck and just says it was a horrible accident.
No, he's gotta
Superman
be-
doesn't do that, Andy.
He's
Well,
kinder.
no, the old Superman doesn't do that.
Yeah, the new
he
one
would give her. He would give her a frontal lobotomy with his heat vision. He would just cook it
That's
just
right.
enough.
There's the memory center. Bzzzt.
That's right.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah,
There you
who
go.
am I?
Oops, too far. Went too far.
This is one of the very first. When you said what we were doing, one of the first ones that came to mind for me was this one. I remember laughing very hard at these. Some of these don't age as well as I thought. But Gary Larson was one of my very favorites as a kid. I bought all the books and thought they were great. But this one, there's another one where like flies are eating poop and or like clowns. Does this taste funny? Cannibal clowns or whatever. But this particular one, I always just laughed at, and I reference it all the time. How birds see the world.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's good. What is he?
You know
I
why
mean,
a
is this
lot of them
dude?
don't
Is
hold
he
up
just
anymore?
retired?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since he's done any new stuff, I
The
think.
reason they don't resonate as well is because so many people have ripped them off.
Yeah, I think you're right.
There's so many strips that have come since then that are so derivative of his stuff. Same thing with Watterson. That you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. But when these things came out at first in the comic strips back in the late 70s, early 80s, these things were game changers. I mean,
Oh yeah.
the story of him, he went into the syndicate. I think they were in San Francisco or something, and he brought all his live stuff, and he left the portfolio there, and the editor came running out of the building to find him because it was so unique at the time and so funny.
Yeah.
I always remember the one. It's a kids park, and there's a slide, and these spiders have made this spider web at the bottom of the slide. And the one and the one spider says, "If this works out, we're going to eat like kings."
This is the first comic strip that I ever read that I didn't like the artwork. I mean, that was always a prerequisite for me, even as a kid. If I liked the artwork, I'd read it, even if it wasn't funny. But this
Yeah.
was, I read it because it was so stinking funny. I didn't care if the artwork was
Yeah.
any good or not, and that was the
I know what
great
you're
appeal
saying.
of this.
Like that bench is kind of weird, and like the foreshortening on the people is weird. But the way he draws people, especially couples, like when he just, the situations he draws are great.
Look at
Oh,
that.
New Far
Leg
Side is
kick
online.
on for the $2 super chat. New Far Side is online. Larson is back. I forgot about that.
Did you guys get the Far Side calendars every year? and put
Oh,
them in your
yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
The daily tear off ones.
Yeah.
Those were great.
Fritzy Schnitzel reminds me. Do you guys remember Jim Unger's Herman?
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I've got like 3 treasury books of his here in my studio that I've had since they were published in the 70s. His stuff was, he drew the ugliest people, but that was some part of the humor of it.
Right. I actually, that's one of my choices. Is
okay.
The Herman strip.
Yeah.
So-
I just remember this one where this Herman is sitting at this table and the waiter is standing there and he goes, "Well, of course your salad is half eaten, sir. You ordered the chef's salad."
I remember that one.
That's a great one.
Yeah, there was some good ones back then, man. I used to like Shoe, even though that wasn't a single gag. It was a strip.
Yeah,
I
but Shoe
loved
was good.
Shoe by
When
Jeff
McNally was doing it, I liked it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jeff McNally, of course,
Yeah.
the original stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one I'm going to show up first is a Sam Gross cartoon. He was one of the great New Yorker cartoonists. But his stuff appeared everywhere. He's ubiquitous in all the publications he was in. And the strips that really tickle me are the ones that go into the absurd,
Right.
And this one clearly does that. Yeah, I know she's a crazy bitch to live with, Harry, but I need the eggs.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
Yeah. So, these cartoons are the ones that actually, there's plenty that you read and you kind of smile and you go, "Oh, that's cute." But there's these ones where, like, if you're drinking something and you read it for the first time, you go, get it out. This is one of those.
God. That is great.
Oh, just the framing and everything, he's
She's so gross.
Yeah.
I know.
And he's called, his name is gross. That's great.
And how important is the eggs now, considering what Biden's done to the economy, and the big joke is how expensive a dozen eggs is. This really plays well now.
I like even the padlock on this thing. Yeah, he's got this, this padlock. It's just really crappily drawn. But the perspective is all there. You could tell the guy understands perspective and shapes and all that, but he's just freehanding it,
Yeah.
Just banging it out and getting
She's a smoker too.
Yeah. Look at the cigarette.
Yeah, look at the ashtray.
Foreground.
But she doesn't have arms.
I know, that's what's so weird. You're just looking at it. I don't know what's creepier, the fact that she doesn't have arms or that she has the chicken body. Because you just expect the way he had her transition to the chicken part. A part of me expects to see arms then the chicken part.
No, the creepy part is the tits out, bro. Let's just be honest.
Right.
Yeah, well, that too. Yeah.
Ellie Munoz, that's an incorrect copyright. This is not from 1936. It's probably 1966.
Yeah, I was going to say 36. That was that. Talk about edgy for 1936.
Yeah,
This is edgy by today's standards.
Yeah,
it's either 66 or 76. But yeah.
I don't know if that would get printed today.
I think the worst part is, we're all creative people and our imaginations are just going crazy with this one stupid image.
Right.
Like, what does he do? What does he do with the crazy bitch? Like, how did the eggs get? Did the eggs get fertilized? I mean,
Art. I think he asked himself one day, if an egg can fit in there, why can't I?
That's right.
But
Dan did grow up on a chicken
stuff
farm.
that makes it so funny is that the absurdity of it, and that the guy just, okay, yeah, she's a crazy bitch to live with, but I mean,
the eggs.
The way he phrases the gag is key here,
Mhm.
and it's just so damn funny.
That's one of the funnier gags I've read in a long time, man.
Yeah,
because it's messed up.
yeah. I got some other ones, man. You guys are cool.
Yeah. All right. So you talked about Herman, so I might as well bring that up since it's fresh in our minds. Let me see here. There we go. I thought this was apropos since all of us have been doing Graham's diet, right? So I thought this one to crack me up. I want you to take a half-hour walk every day, 10 minutes before lunch.
That's one you got to think about for a second.
Yeah. But the thing I liked about Herman was that I liked the drawings. I liked his characters.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's fast and rough drawing, but just his style and those characters with the big nose, and they're just so freaking ugly. And I loved the strip, even when it wasn't funny, because it wasn't all the time. Like most strips, there's hit and misses, right?
Sure.
But this, I read it because I liked the art. Once again,
I dig the ink line. It's
that dude. I was about to say, I love the ink line on it. It's
a contour drawing,
Yeah,
he just lays down the contours, and like there's almost like no underdrawing,
Mm-hmm.
And there's just detail in the faces and where he wants you to look. Nowhere else really.
Yeah, and body posture too. He's got the doc with the slouch, the kind of hump on the back type of thing, and his hands in the pocket. Yeah, all his characters are so ugly too. They get hairs sticking out of places.
Yeah, my favorite is the little splotch of hair on his chest.
Yeah. But it looks like the doctor even has like some hair on his wrist there,
Yeah.
His ears too, which is nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I can relate.
He just passed away. Jim Unger just passed away 2012.
Yeah.
Oh man. Not just. That was 11 years ago.
I was going to say, that's 11 years ago, man. I don't know if you can say just with that.
Yeah, I guess I can't.
He wasn't that old either.
No, he was born in 36, I think it said. Well, maybe. Wait a minute. He was born in 1937, so that was
40, 50,
what,
60,
80?
70.
He was like in his 70s, right?
Yeah.
Late 70s.
Yeah, Al Jaffe.
75. He was 75 then.
Al Jaffe turned 102 today.
Which is crazy.
Crazy.
Wait, he's still
alive?
alive?
I had no idea he was that old.
Magazine Folds.
Yeah, I bet.
He's 102 years old, and he looks great.
Happy Christmas.
Yeah. God bless
He's got to be one of the last original Mad guys. He's got to be.
I would think. He's got to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Davis is gone, and
I
don't know. Don Martin passed away, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, Martin died.
You're saying original guys? Because like the classic guys, Argonis is still around.
Oh, that's true.
And the guy I think the guy who did Spy versus Spy is still around. I forget his name.
But Sergio wasn't there at the very beginning, was he?
Did he?
Yeah, I think he died. Didn't he have like a one name?
Yeah. I forget his name though. It was like not Pedro, but something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a little
Spy versus Spy guy,
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't they did a Spy versus Spy movie, didn't they? That was like really bad with Chris Pine and somebody else. Oh, well, hopefully he got paid for it anyway.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Don Martin, when he died, his widow had to, I think, lawyer up or something. There was some issues with rights and stuff to his cartoons.
I love Don Martin, man. That guy, that stuff was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
that was great stuff.
Great gags too, and he used to write his stuff too.
Was Spy versus Spy? Was it Peter Cupper?
No, I was looking it up, and there's like
later?
so many people on it. It said
It's
the
a
original
Spanish guy
was Antonia Probius, but I don't know what he signed under. But he died in '87. But I'm trying to see what he signed as, because I remember the one name moniker too.
Yeah. Thank you, 200 Watt Studio. And he reminds us that Sergio Aragonis is still around.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
we-
is.
Was
Living
he,
in Ojai.
was he an original Mad Guy, or did he come in the 70s?
No, he came in like the late 60s, I think, early 70s.
Yeah. There was this great Don Martin story. Every time someone says Don Martin, this one stands out to me. It wasn't just a gag, but it was the entire story in a Mad magazine where there was this monster was coming up out of the toilet and killing people when they were sitting on the toilet, right? And they'd find their bodies with a plunger stuck to their face and their butt up in the air with their pants around their ankles. And so it was like this sewer monster, right? So what they decided to do was they evacuated the entire city so all the pollution would go away, and it killed the monster. And but it was funny. There was commentary on pollution.
I do remember that. Yeah, I remember that one.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, you're right, Dan. It's Antonio Prohia.
That's it.
Yeah,
but for some reason I remember, like you're saying, like a one name, not
Maybe it was
Spain.
just Prohia. Maybe it was like
Maybe.
Prohia.
Yeah, because it says the cartoon created by, and then it says Antonio began as a satire commentary on absurdity of Cold War, but given how the U.S. always seems to be fighting someone, applies just as easy today. Now, Mad is showing its appreciation with a coffee table book. Yeah,
I always thought those Spy versus Spy comics were they felt like Roadrunner Coyote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's partially the inspiration for Black and White because they were black and white and they were spies, and so there you go.
Little tidbit there.
Opportunity there. Little advertising.
Yeah, go back black and white today. Yes.
Nicely played. And all the links are in the description, my friends.
That's right.
All right, Andrew, let's see what we got here for you.
We got Hank Ketchum. Once again, another one I look forward to, because I would read the comic section as a kid. My dad would toss that to me while he was reading the rest of the paper. The art just attracted me to it. I always thought the writing was really good, but his ink line is just, I didn't think of it back then, but in later years looking at it, I was like, oh my God, this is like Klaus Janson inking.
Yes. The fat lines against the thin lines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Plus
so
that could draw like a son of a bitch.
Yeah, and if you think about 101 Dalmatians, the Disney flick, I mean, there's designs that are straight from Dennis the Menace, like the dad with the sharp nose and all that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Ketchum worked for Disney at one point.
Perhaps.
Oh, that I don't know.
Yeah.
I love the pencil thin line, like right next to like these really thick lines. It's very dynamic.
Yeah.
And look at the gesture on the cat. The cat's looking its back and it's turned. That cat doesn't have to be in there for that gag.
No, it's legit.
He puts it in there and he puts this natural pose for the cat. It just adds another level of context or the texture to the drawing and balances that out. It's amazing.
Yeah,
helps create a believable environment.
The cat's not bothered, right? So it's almost as if it happens a lot.
The cat's mocking the kid's pain. Yeah. My favorite thing is, we're all parents, and I see stuff like this, and I think, is that chair always in that corner just to remind your kid, like,
right?
You step out of line, you're gonna.
That's the timeout chair, man.
Timeout chair, yeah. Yeah.
Now it's the guy that took over for Ketchum, Marcus Hamilton, actually lives here in town.
Cool.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but we've had lunch before and stuff, and he would tell me stories about working for Hank when he first took over. Because I think he took over. I want to say he took over in the early 90s, or maybe it was the mid 90s. He basically, I think he saw an ad. And, that Hank put out there looking for an assistant to take over. And he did samples up and he got the job. And then it started where Hank would send him these loose roughs to work from. And then he would send them back finished, and then Hank would basically redline stuff with, a red marker on tracing paper for him to fix and correct. And then it just got to a point where, Hank was just very pleased with the stuff and just kind of signing off on it. But the funny thing was Marcus, the guy that took over, when he took over, he was I think Marcus was he was in his 60s when he took over. Mm-hmm. This guy was I saw his portfolio, Marcus's. He was a hell of an illustrator back when they would hire, you remember, illustrators for ads and stuff in the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. Nice realistic paintings and stuff. And it was just like, holy crap. But all that stuff dried up. So he would, just, I guess you could say, stumbled upon this. And I haven't talked to him in a while. I don't know if Marcus still does the daily one or not, because
another guy knows
he could have
Sunday.
Retired. What's that?
Somebody else does the Sunday.
Yeah, somebody else does the Sunday and always did. Marcus never did the Sunday, but
no.
Yeah.
Is Dennis the Menace? I'm trying to think. Was he ever like a multi-panel strip, or was it always single gags, or was it both?
The Sunday
I was looking. I remember mostly single gag stuff.
It was, yeah. The Sundays though were multi-panel.
Yeah, yeah. Because some strips, if they were just single panel and never multi, just wouldn't have a Sunday, would they? Wouldn't they just dump out or something for that one day, or would it just be the single in color?
Right, that's what I thought it would be.
Find one of the strips.
Sunday strip.
Andy, find one of the strips with the dad in it. That dude is like 101 Dalmatians for sure.
Yeah, there's one right up in the top left there.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, there's this one.
Yeah.
I don't love this. Is so typical. It's like.
There was another one of him in the corner.
And it's the same rocking chair.
Yeah.
I like that continuity.
Answers my question, right?
Isn't this funny? This is so typical. It's like you got this cute wife, and then the dad's got this big old nose and completely unattractive. We always managed to land a cute wife.
It's like the origins of the sitcom, right? Like all sitcoms, it's like the ugly dude, and then it's like the really pretty wife.
When Blondie came out in the early 30s or late 20s, I think it was early 30s, Blondie was a flapper.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she was a flapper. And Dagwood, I believe he lost all his money in the crash. Like he came for money, I think.
Oh, really?
And he lost it in the Great Depression. And then, he had to go to work. And it was about them getting together, and and she was a working girl,
Yeah.
Did you guys read the caption here?
Yeah.
I told him to pick up his toys, and he told me to go pour milk on my ulcer.
Oh, wow. Wow, kid.
That's a Calvin and Hobbes beat right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. I love the couch in the foreground that just kind of goes off to nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. And it focuses you. It creates a focal point focusing on Dennis in the corner.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a subliminal line, like an arrow going right to the corner.
Because who would have their couch at an angle like that doesn't face another angle?
Right.
But as an illustration, it works perfect. Beautiful.
That's a great example of a vignette drawing. You know what I mean? It just sort of, you got your focus right where you want it, and then it just sort of fades off around the edges.
Well, that's the whole thing about these panel gags is there's so much that has to go into it for clarity and for the gag, and you only have one shot at it. There's no padding. You can't just add extra beats or something with multiple panels. You got to get it right the first time.
Yeah. My favorite here is like how calm Dennis is and how calm the wife is, and the dad is just losing his crap. Like they're so still and like calm, and the dad's like,
I love the drawing on the wall.
Yeah. Like,
it's
Picasso or something.
Yeah,
just something.
Hey, Dad's Den of Pop Culture says he thought Dagwood gave up the family money to marry Blondie because his parents didn't approve.
That could be. I'm not positive on that. I just know that she was a flapper, and he did come from money. Randy Howell says Blondie started in 1930. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
It's crazy.
I came across Alley Oop. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's an old strip.
Oh yeah. Art was in that
Caveman.
strip originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was what?
Somebody else just had a birthday. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We're running
Graham.
neck and neck, you and me, Graham.
Yeah, I was going to say you caught up with Art.
Yes, but the fans don't know that.
Happy belated birthday.
That's right.
Thank you. All right, Art's up, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna go deep again. Well, I'm going to let me see. Where are you? Here we go. And I know that Dan pulled out some of the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on
Larson. Gary Larson.
Yeah. Far Side. And I just got back from the dentist, and I had my little run in, and I swear they are monsters. And so I like this. The dentist just buzzed me, Mr. Was it Luol? He's ready to see Bobby now, and he's like looking through the window, and it's like the dentist is actually a monster.
He's putting that guy's bridge in.
Yeah, I did. Oh my gosh, I hate those guys. I went in yesterday, and I said to the guy, like, looked him right in the eye. I said, I have no respect for your profession. I actually told the dentist that.
You did.
Wow.
Before
Why
or
would
after?
you do that?
Because I don't, and I told him, I said for this amount of money and the problems I've had in the past with these bridges, you're saying you can fix this, right? You can make this work. And he's like, absolutely. And I said, just know I have absolutely no faith in your profession.
Oh my God. Before he does the work. That's not the smartest.
Wow.
Well,
Way
if
to
he-
get your food spit in,
No, he knew I wasn't effing around. Like I had standards. I wasn't going to let him get away with it.
I had standards.
Well, worst case scenario, you just pull the thing out and I'll get another one somewhere else. And then there's this one here where it's like, yes, they're fools, gentlemen, but the question remains, what kind of fools are they? Let's figure it out. Let's do a study. And then there's this one here, which I think is the best. Not bad at all. Well, now I guess I'd better make some things to eat, you guys. Look at the cute little bunnies and the squirrels and stuff.
I love the phraseology. Not bad at all. It's that extra, not bad at all.
Yeah,
That's right.
He's God. He created them. Yeah, it's not bad at all. Yeah.
Look at how horrible the lettering is, but it's perfect with the art style, It's just like
I like that they're floating on a freaking cloud. This stuff is nuts, man. I like that God's radiating the light and everything. This is just perfect. I think God's got some glasses on too.
Yeah, he's got a bald spot.
He's bald.
He didn't even give himself good hair.
oh my goodness.
Well, now I got to create something to eat, you guys.
That's the best.
That's too good, man.
That is a good
So
one.
I know it's a little redundant, but they were some of my faves, and
That's
That's not redundant. They're
No.
not redundant. Just because you share the same artist doesn't make it redundant. Those are
Right.
gags, man.
Good stuff.
They're gags.
The God thing.
Is this you down here, Dan?
Yeah. This one I don't have any affinity for the artist, but the concept is pretty fun.
Talk about an inside joke, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
shit.
great.
You know what? I feel bad for that guy on the couch, man.
Yeah. It's just simple. I mean, it's just nuts. Underscore, like double underline, all caps.
Well, Graham, don't you have a joke, something like that on your mug?
Yeah. That comes from a Sunshine State strip where Mel says to Dink, Dink, I've decided I want to be a cartoonist. And he says, you're insane.
I use that mug every morning.
Nice.
I pour my orange juice in it. Yeah, thank you
I
so
told
much.
my daughter
You're
is
welcome.
majoring in animation and design, but also dance, right? So she has 2 like artistic degrees she's getting. And she was complaining earlier in the semester about, the animation stuff, just because she's taking a double major is just so time consuming, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I don't even like doing this anymore. I said, hey, well, I said, if you want to drop, the art thing and just pursue dance, go ahead. And she goes, well, I want a backup plan. And I said, Samantha, getting an art degree is not a backup plan.
She literally is doing 2 majors where each one could have a backup plan.
Right. Each one needs a backup plan, but neither one is a backup plan for the other.
Right.
Non sequitur. Art of Race. Does anybody remember non sequitur? It sounds familiar.
I do remember that. I'm going to Google that.
Yeah, it's so familiar sounding, and I remember liking it.
Someone brought up Ziggy too earlier, and I
remember
love
Ziggy was
never liked
a
Ziggy.
80s. That was an 80s thing. A lot of
It's
t-shirts
70s.
and mugs.
I think
Wasn't it
Ziggy, I think Ziggy was in the 70s too, wasn't he?
I think it was, because I think so when I was a kid. Wasn't it sort of the precursor to Dilbert in a way?
I could see that.
Ziggy?
Yeah.
Do you remember
Trader
that Seinfeld joke that charlatan stole the Ziggy?
No.
Do you remember that episode?
Prater 7 says that Watterson's coming out with a graphic novel.
Oh shit!
If that's true, man, I'm
Oh,
signing
yeah.
up.
I think it's like a horror type thing too.
What?
Really?
Sign me up, dude.
I think that's what I saw.
Wow.
It's where a guy uses his tiger to eat children. He like destroys his legacy.
Yeah. That'd be great. Okay, so again, absurdity cracks me up. And when the more absurd it is, and the more that the people engaged in the cartoon don't recognize the absurdity, that's a winner for me.
Yes, it's perfect.
I've seen that one. Yeah,
So fucking perfect.
I love that. Bring
Bring
some
some
shit
for my fly.
Yeah. And he's such a foodie, I'll have the gazpacho mixed vinaigrette with shrimp, marinated zucchini, orange mousse, a bottle of Côtes d'Aron Rouge 59, and bring some shit for my fly.
The fact that they didn't even add friend, it's my
Right.
fly friend. It's just
Right.
for my fly.
And the
Oh, fuck.
waiter is staring down at the menu, and he's
Not
not
at the
looking
fly.
at this giant fly
Yeah.
sitting in the chair. And look at the feet, the fly feet
Dangling.
hanging down underneath the table.
That's perfect.
Bring some
This
shit.
is my kind of shit.
Yeah. I've seen this before, and this is a
So
great
have I.
gag.
Yeah, that's a B. Kleiben cartoon.
What was this in? Was he doing like these for like magazines, or this
Yeah.
wasn't newspaper stuff? Obviously.
Oh no! This was like what's the what was the college satire? National Lampoon. Yeah. I think this is for
Oh
National
yeah.
Yeah. Because
Although this one actually looks like it was from a book that he had done. Never eat anything bigger than your head.
I remember that when that book came out. I remember that. I was a kid. I found that in the bookstore and had that big plate of whatever. And I remember thumbing through that and thinking I was getting away with something because there was a few rough gags in there like this, for I don't know. I was like 10 or 11.
I wonder if this inspired the jerk joke where they're out at the French restaurant and they order escargot and then they get the escargot and then Steve Martin just goes, "Waiter, get these off my
Oh yeah, that's
my
right.
plate."
Yeah. There's
And-
snails on my plate.
on my plate, and then what's
He's,
it? Bernadette
he's telling
Peters
his
is
date,
like,
"Don't look at it. Don't look at
Don't
it."
look at it. Yeah, don't look at it.
That's such a good movie.
Oh my God, that movie is so good.
I'll tell
I
you
haven't
that
seen
opening,
that
they,
in
they could never do
forever.
that now. I was
Oh,
born a poor
no.
black
I
child.
Oh, I was
am-
born a poor black child. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You know, Shelley and I actually had escargot in Paris.
I heard
How
it's
about
really
that?
good.
They're tasty, man. If you
Yeah.
like garlic and butter.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, you know that scene in Pretty Woman where she's like trying to handle those things and they shoots off her plate and lands on the floor and she's like slippery little critters.
Suckers.
Shelley did. It was either me or Shelley. One of us did that. We had tried to pick and it shot up out of there and landed on the floor.
Yeah.
But I figured it's a snail. I can eat it anyway. So,
Shelley was your Pretty
It's just
Woman.
protein.
Yeah. Yep.
And then she rescued you right back.
Yes.
Isn't that the last line in the movie?
Yeah.
I want the fairy tale.
I want the fairy tale.
So
want you to
do
pay for
you guys
services.
have like one more each?
I have.
I got
two
one
but-
more, but
I
We
have
got-
two more,
we got
but I
two
can.
more.
I can.
You got
I
two
can
more?
do it in one
Okay,
row.
let's see.
I
got
can do it in one run.
three. I'm gonna just I'll do the second one, so that we get caught up. But
oh my gosh.
How about a vegetable?
Oh no! Oh my god!
Shit!
Holy shit! This is chicken tits, right? This is
That's
chicken tits who
jacked.
did this.
that is
The guy who did chicken tits did this.
This is
Yes.
Sam Gross again. He's the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
You can tell.
magazine is this thing appearing in? That's what I want to know.
Holy
This
crap.
was in National Lampoon.
Oh,
Of course.
Billy
Oh my
Tucci.
God.
Teen sensation.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
I disavow.
Oh my.
Disavow.
Just in time for your
the
vegetable.
rudest thing I've ever seen. That
All
is
right, who's
hilarious.
going to hell?
Oh,
Sam Gross.
I'm already asking for forgiveness for laughing. My lord.
He's already
Oh,
there.
man.
Shit.
Yeah, it's so wrong on so many levels. But again, I read that thing and I laughed my ass off. First time I read it.
The guy in the stew seems so comfortable, dude.
Yeah.
And the guy's like rubbing him down. Oh fuck.
Oh yeah. It's
That is awesome.
It's terrible. It's so
Man.
bad.
well, William. Do you have any cartoons you'd like to share since you
Yeah.
are coming late?
Yeah. I apologize. I had my American Legion meeting, but what have we covered? What cartoons? What cartoonists have we discussed?
Oh, we don't have to.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. We've had
Whatever you
overlap.
like.
Oh,
It's
okay. All
about
right. Let
the
me share my
gap.
first one. I hope you guys
Yeah.
didn't do this one yet, but let me grab that. Hang on. Here we go.
It's already
There you go,
cracking
Graham.
Billy up.
It's Far Side,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
and you see the little porcupine mammal running. Walking by, and here's all the dinosaurs laughing at him.
They're laughing at him.
And the other guy's like, "What the hell is that?" And you see the snow starting. The ice age.
Oh,
So
that's so good. Yeah, we've done several Larson ones, man. They're all hilarious.
I just want.
That's a great one.
I mean, you can't go wrong with that, right? Let me see if that goes.
Nope.
All
You
right, so that's-
you got some other ones?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah. We can get you caught up. with it.
Okay, great. Another Larson one. It's
Yeah,
kind of
zoom in.
small. Forgive me. I don't know.
What does it say?
It's say
Command plus. Hit Command plus.
command on the PC.
Yeah.
Is Control Plus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a PC. So.
Well, there's Command Plus or Control Plus.
Oh, there
Oh,
you
yeah.
go.
Oh, huzzah, look at that. I'm not really.
Okay,
used
well,
to it.
Hey,
Okay, now
what's
we
the
can't
mountain
see-
go?
there it is.
Yeah, so the two pilots are flying on the plane. What's the mountain go doing way up here in a cloud bank?
Oh,
That's a good one.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
the last thing you see before.
Oh, this
you
is a
die.
great one. Okay, hang on. Let me do the Control Plus. Now we get a little bit of the Playboy ones, and I have stories that my brothers.
Wrong way.
Wrong way.
Yeah, it
Or
went-
wait.
Just
hang on.
Is that Sneed again? That's not
No,
Sneed.
that
look
doesn't
like
look
it.
like Sneed.
It doesn't look like it.
Come on. Nope, that's
Who's
that.
the artist, Billy? Do you know?
No, let me try to make it larger. Hang on, Control Plus. Come on, I'm hitting the plus for God's sakes. Control Plus.
Hold the control back down.
Yeah, I'm holding it down.
Okay, what about Command Plus?
I don't
What
have
about plus
command
plus?
on this. Hang on.
Oh.
Let's try this control. What? Alt plus maybe? Alt?
Hey, Billy, push all the buttons at the same time.
It's in all the
But
time.
I got it. It's how funny.
See, I
I gotta
told
go
you.
to the minus button.
There you go.
All right, so
Yeah.
this is by
By the way, this is the same size it
Sokol?
was originally.
Oh, Sokol.
Sokol?
Yeah.
yeah. So this is a Playboy, and you see this woman here with her boobs sticking out, and he says, "Dreadfully sorry, Your Grace." He's reaching for the melons and he grabs her boob. So
look at the cartooning on that guy's face on the right.
Yeah.
The shape of his head and the mustache and the color of his nose. And look at the plating. Like that shit is hard to draw. You know, teacups and glasses and chandeliers and candelabras, all that stuff. All those
Rembrandt in the back.
You know, there's a real talent, and somebody like you look at Mignola does this. It's like they draw it completely accurate, but it's not like with Circle Temple. It's all freehand, so it's kind of like the candelabra's bending, you know, and the glass isn't centered and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But it's accurate. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like that's what it looks like, but they're doing it freehand, and that's like Mignola and other guys do that, and it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because I would be so caught up in every line's got to be smooth and right and perfect and
right.
yeah, but I love this guy, you know, the royalty here, and he's got his sash and he's got the medals and all that, you know, and like you said, you're 100% right. With everything is right.
Well, he looks like he came with the lady, and so he's giving the other guy the evil eye.
Yeah,
He's watching that. He's watching that hand. It's like you better.
But he was just like,
yeah, you better keep it on the fruit.
Get a nice. So
well, the gag is he grabbed her boob out of the shot, and then he's grabbing what he's supposed to be grabbing, right? And he's apologizing.
Yeah, that's what's so brilliant about it. Yep,
right.
Truly brilliant. And just I love the white, his sense of spacing here. How the table goes with the with the framing.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell it's a white tablecloth as it would be. Just a brilliant. Looks like watercolor, right? Was he watercolor? I assume or gouache.
Probably.
I mean, it looks like it.
Could be dyed.
It's all computers.
But so I have some more, so I'll wait my next turn. But there's just funny stuff there.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Your Grace.
Okay, Aaron.
All right. Well, we're going back to Larson again, but this is what I talked about earlier.
Oh my God, there's other cartoonist people.
No, there are not.
I had to find the one that I remember as a kid that cracked me up, and this is the one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just the deviant looks on their
I know the
faces.
deviant look on their face, like looking at the side of their eyes to make sure no one's watching.
They're shifty.
Funky dinosaurs, you know, like, hey man, we're smoking in the boys' room.
Just, you know, because I was always a dinosaur guy growing up as a kid, and it was just like, oh my gosh, that is so funny. The real reason dinosaurs became extinct.
That's awesome.
That's great.
I like the hand lighting the cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holding it, you know. Yeah.
That's obviously an iguanodon that's doing it.
Well, yes.
Well, it's accurate. The stuff's very accurate. You can tell.
Do you have any idea how big those cigarettes would have to be?
Oh my God.
Those are cigars.
It's so funny when you take something that would have been like in the 70s. I don't know when he did this cartoon, but like in the 60s or 70s, where, you know, smoking and stuff like that was really looked upon badly for kids. So they would be smoking in the boys' room or out behind the school, you know, right after class, looking around to make sure no one saw them smoking, and then take that and then put it in with a bunch of dinosaurs. I mean, it's freaking hilarious.
Wait a minute, Aaron. That's the same period they were giving us candy cigarettes at Halloween in our bags.
I know.
They were encouraging us to smoke.
Yes, it was like, but you had the marketing people doing one thing, and you had the schools and the parents trying to do another thing, right? So
you know what the real genius of this illustration is the wall on the left-hand side that they're hiding behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Without that, it wouldn't have the same impact.
Right, they're hiding behind the rock to make sure no one sees them smoking.
Yeah.
And they're all look at how they're mean. There's like a gang or something.
Yeah,
They look badass.
The flat nose one, he's looking off, like, so to make sure nobody's watching him, like this guy's cigarette, and the other guy's looking the other way to make sure nobody's coming from that direction too. You know, it's like everybody's on high alert so we don't get caught. Beautiful.
Oh my
I want to know who would bust them
Yeah, exactly.
King
Bigger,
Kong.
better. Yeah, King Kong
Exactly,
comes in.
King Kong.
Godzilla.
Yeah,
Oh.
Godzilla. There you go. Andy,
that was the classic one for me, man, that I just never forgot.
Jack Cole, baby.
there it is.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Always
Another
Plastic Man.
guy. Of course, we all know him for Plastic Man, but man, his single panel cartoons in Playboy, the color, because these were all just, as you can tell, watercolor with no ink line, no holding line.
What does the
Just-
text say?
The text says, "What do you mean? Where's your present? You're unwrapping it now."
Oh,
That old dude's like, "Woohoo! Heart attack's coming."
I loved how they would draw all these middle-aged guys, with the no chin and
Oh yeah.
the mustaches and just
And
like
then
this
the
is a guy
babes.
with
the hair
money.
on the
This is
side.
like a middle-aged money guy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
sure.
Yeah.
She's bought and paid for.
She is taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
I
that.
love the
necklace.
present too. The bow, like it's not perfect.
Yeah. There's some dry brush on that.
It's like
Well, all of these are the thing that's so great about these, especially the ones that are like really focused on the art, like the one Andy showed. I can't Sneed and
Sneed,
yeah. This is. It's all so loose, but it's all so there.
yeah.
That's what I love about it. Is I've gained such a great appreciation for this sort of loose style where everything's there, the drawing's there, and that carries it. You don't have to have this exact finish, fine line, perfect inking on it. It can just be it feels like a loose watercolor sketch, but everything is there.
Yeah.
It has that sort of energy to it, much like Wraith of God, Bloodhunters. So if you haven't backed that, you should.
Nicely
Well,
played.
Art did it earlier, so I thought I'd jump in there and get mine.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just want to show this because we're talking about Jack Cole.
Yeah.
The whimsy in this cartoon I've always loved.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah, you did.
Talk about classic, man. Oh,
the,
that's
guy,
funny.
the guy's laying against his wife who's reading.
the
They're
butt.
at the beach in the summer, and he's lusting over this young couple, and he's just doing what he wants to do.
And both the dudes are smoking cig.
Dude,
That's
the
right.
smack in the butt with his shadow is so
That's
great.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the action lines on the shadow too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's movement
Yeah,
lines.
it matches the action lines on his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
You know
saw
how
that.
you know how low the sun would be for that shadow to be that long?
That's true.
It's a
That's
sunset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I saw he probably got this idea, same place I got it, because I did something like that in a Sunshine State strip, where and it came where I saw it originally was in a Fatty Arbuckle film. And he, Fatty was in love with the girl, and the girl, doesn't recognize him because he's fatty, all that kind of stuff. And so he's standing at the doorway, and she's laying in bed, and his shadow is cast over the bed, and then the shadow leans down and kisses her on the cheek, and then we cut back to him standing in the doorway, So it's like this unrequited love. And it was a way to express that, without him putting himself out on the line. His shadow did it. I love that. I thought that was
The shadow's like his subconscious, not his subconscious, but
an avatar for him.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shadow has more courage than he does because
Didn't Fatty get his career ruined? Didn't he get trumped up on charges of underage girl or something like that?
I think
Really
somebody
wasn't
blew him on a
cool.
roof.
No.
Somebody blew a fatty on a roof.
Yeah.
That would be bad for your teeth, I hear.
It is bad for your teeth.
Are we going around again, or is this the last time, Graham?
Again, we still haven't gone around this one.
Let me see. I've got two more.
I got another one. I just wanted to check.
Yeah,
I've only got two, but
okay.
I don't know if we need to go around again, but if we
I
do,
got
let me know.
two as well. So if we need,
Yeah,
I can do it. Yeah,
Andy, do you have one you want to share, or did we just
Yeah, I
do
can
you?
do another one.
Did we just
No,
do
I can
you?
do another one.
He just did.
Hey, I already went.
It's
It's Art's turn.
Oh no, you did the Jack Cole. That's right.
Yeah, so it's Art's turn.
Yeah, okay.
He's always got the sexy.
Art is gonna bring up another black and white one so he can plug his
so
campaign.
I can plug the book, black and white. No, this is an honorable mention. I know there's not a single, and trust me, I looked, but Calvin Hobbes it rocked my world, and for years,
everybody's world.
For years, my wife and I, before bed, just to put ourselves in a good frame of mind, no matter what happened during the day, we would read a couple pages of the collected edition, and this just brings so much. It's just so clever. It's heartwarming. It's just everything, and I really, really like it, and I love the artwork as well. So that's kind of I just wanted to put that out there. But then there's Bill Keane, and he's the father of Glenn Keane, the great Disney animator. And I like this because this is like the universal joke, like the kid loves the box versus all the toys that you get on Christmas.
So true.
And it's like a cat. Like you could buy all these cat toys and they want the cap off a water bottle.
Yeah, my dog's the same way. Like he loves plastic bottles. Like we get him. Actually, he plays with
human noses.
But, he can't resist. I'll tell you one thing though. That train with the little handle that you can ride, I want that.
What year is that? 1964.
Yeah, that's what it says. Registered.
And doesn't that tiger look like Hobbes? When Hobbes is in his regular,
I'll tell you, my wife had a Tigger toy. Like it was an official Disney licensed Tigger toy, and it was before like they really got good at stitching that stuff together and likenesses, and it looks exactly like Hobbes. Like exactly like so. My thing is, I think that maybe. Bill Watterson had one of those, and then that just became. It's just a theory. Became Hobbes in the comic strip. But I love this. I love the duotone shade. That's not zipatone, so it's that little chemical stuff. This is obviously a scan right off the original. I mean, this thing's beat to hell. And then there's this one from the Family Circus as well, and it's like I didn't punch him. I was just holding my fist out, and he ran into it. Remember that old joke that you used to try to pawn off on your parents?
Oh yeah.
I like that the kid still got his fist out. He hasn't even pulled it back yet.
And the kid's laid out flat.
Yeah, he's crying his eyes out. And of course, it's the little brother. Yeah. I like how calm the mom is too. She's just like, "Oh, come on, really? You just had your fist out?"
That's right.
Yeah, you were really. It just happened like that. But anyway, yeah, I dig the Bill Keane stuff, and I also just dig that the lineage, the Keanes, with Glenn, just master animator, and I think his two daughters, Glenn Keane's two daughters.
I was going to say the daughters do as well.
Yeah,
do they really?
Yeah, they did all the a lot of the design work for Frozen. Do they do color? What is that called? You'll know better than I do, Dan. Where they do like keys, like for the scenes, they do
color story
or whatever. They do. They do a lot of that.
Where you like a whole scene is purple that goes into a blue scene that goes into a red scene.
Right, and then they do character design as well. I think one of his daughters does children's books too. Yeah, with kind of like that kind of Bill Keane line work. It's
really amazing that all these kids got some level of talent.
Yeah,
right. That's pretty rare.
Yeah,
nature and nurture.
So this is mine. This is from Dan DeCarlo.
Yeah.
It needs no words.
Yeah, they ruined that bad boy. Right? I mean, obviously didn't have those lines on it over the boobs. Over the boobies.
Let me see.
It does look like
you're right. Yeah, no, it was covered. I think it's covered because it was on Heritage Auction and whatever. So, yeah. But,
I hope that's just on the image and not a...
Yeah. So are we doing another round, or are we showing our last images now?
You have two of them. You got another one?
I have one more. Yeah.
I just want to say this is a double header right here. So you get the lower and bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Art.
I love the
Okay.
shoes too. What year was
What-
that? Look at those shoes. What year was
Gotta
that?
be the 50s.
Sure.
50s or
Yeah,
something?
totally.
that
50s.
hairstyle, both hairstyles,
Yeah.
the guy and the girl.
It's amazing
Uh,
sometimes that those Archie faces can be like, okay. And then sometimes they can be so freaking cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid, my mom's house was they were very laid back. Like I lived with my dad and visited my mom until I was 12, but they were very laid back, and I was allowed to look at Playboys, and I was also allowed to look at Hustlers, which were even crazier.
Wow.
And the jokes in the Hustlers cracked me up, and I wanted to bring some of those to the table, but I ended up picking the most tame one I could.
right.
You know, because like there was
As long
one
as it's
where
not Chester, we'll be all right.
no,
The molester.
I remember this guy that like there was one guy who was like collecting his farts in balloons. I remember one like that. I remember another one where a guy was like doing himself on a doorknob, and they said, "Oh, don't mind him. He just got out of jail." So those were the like kind of like the hardcore ones, you know. Oh, but the fart ones, they were labeled like beans, and then the one that stood out was the one that said beer and chocolate, you know. So like that was the funny part, was the collection of fart balloons, but what made the farts. Okay, so this is not Tinsley. No, this is it. It's just real simple.
Does he have chicken pox or something? Oh, she doesn't jerk off? Okay, all right.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, Fraga, when you posted that in the green room, I didn't get the joke, but now as soon as you said this is from Hustler magazine, I immediately got it when you showed it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, one is so he doesn't lick himself, and you know,
right?
Yeah.
So,
You know what would have been funnier if the human had the same eyes as the dog.
Yeah. Instead of the glasses, have the bug eyes like that.
Yeah, the bug eyes, like,
Yeah.
Oh shit, this
That
is
would have
driving
been
me
funnier.
crazy. This is driving me crazy.
I like how the
man.
dog is
Brilliant.
bugged out, but also relaxed.
His
the
arms
paw over
across.
paw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So that's it. That's what I got.
Okay.
So is the implication here this guy can't go left? Is that the implication, I guess?
He's right.
Maybe that's the stranger, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like cheating on yourself.
Yeah.
All right, Billy.
All right, let me share mine. Give me a second here. Share screen. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. That's a good one. You want to do it?
Oh, I saw this one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
This is a good one.
Oh yeah.
I just love it, you know. And she's like, I know I have the right to remain silent, but I want you to know that I'm a screamer. I was looking for one that I found in like Hustler or Penthouse. So when we were little kids, my two older brothers had Playboys and Penthouse and stuff like that. And we would steal them from them and rip the pages out and sell them to the kids in third grade for 25 cents each.
What an entrepreneur. What an entrepreneur.
Yeah, my buddy Dennis got bagged and ratted on me and brought me down there. And we're sitting in the principal's office, and he's like, so he said he got these from you and your brother. I'm like, not me. I don't know what he's talking. I didn't get them from me. I didn't get them.
That's what you do,
Deny,
man.
deny.
Deny.
My friend
deny,
Dennis
yeah.
is still my best friends today. You guys would love him.
Yeah.
He gets up and he's like, "You fucking liar! He's fucking lying!" He's screaming in the principal's office. So it was almost like,
And the F words are far worse than anything he's being tried on.
So remember in This Is 40. You remember when they went to the principal's office with what's her name, McCarthy? Her name is, and they're like, he said my son looked like Tom Petty, and he said he's going to hit my son with a car. And they're like, I would never say that. And the mother, Melissa McCarthy, starts flipping out.
Yeah.
Remember that scene? That's exactly what it's like. And the principal's like, okay, we see what's going on here. And that's exactly what happened to Dennis. Like, okay, this kid's a lunatic. because I'm like, I don't know what he's talking. I didn't. What?
See, so look at Billy was lying even in school.
Even in
And it
school,
just
I was lying.
continued on.
I got away with it. All right, then I had to pull some classic ones here.
It was Billy's coping device. That's how he got through life.
The great Bill Malden.
Oh man,
World War II. Willie and Joe. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. He's here in Alps, France, and it says, "I asked her to teach me to yodel. She taught me to yodel." So this chick just balled this dude, banged this young private. Here's another good one. This will be my last one. So here they're about to ambush this Nazi, but he's got booze with him. So he's like,
"Take that booze.
Startle him, Joe. It's almost full." So
and there's great drawings, man. The posture of the figures was amazing in those.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, what an incredible draftsman. Like I said, and everything's right. All the uniforms are right. The weapons. I mean, I just love. When I was looking these up today, I just makes you want to just grab a brush and just draw. You know, like this, and just do fun stuff. I mean, look how abstract this is, but you can tell it's a blown up building. That's part of a roof. And just the lighting that he uses, and how you could see that they're hiding behind this bush.
Mm-hmm. You believe usually, it. like comic strips like this, they don't use that kind of sharp, dark like blacks and stuff like that. It's usually more open and linear. There's a lot of shadow and mood in these things. Which is
and even the
panel.
Yeah, but even there's such sad sacks. If you see the typical infantryman, with their old beard, they don't shave, and even the German, you can see he's just some schmuck. He's just another average Joe.
But he just happens to have a bottle of hooch.
Yeah, and he's a Nazi. He's a typical Heine or something.
I like he's got one of those bombs tucked in his belt.
He's got a grenade. He's got
those grenades.
Yeah, grenade.
Potato masher.
Yep, potato masher. And like I said, everything is right with the Germans' war compared to what the Americans were. But you see, he's all ripped up. And it's great stuff. And then this one I wanted to do. Here's French cartoonists after the Charlie Hebdo thing, how they're all about free speech and all. And here you see free speech, and here's the cartoonists in the foxhole, and it says the PC media, and he's running away as the bombs are hit. He's like, it's heartwarming to know that we're in this together.
Yeah, French cartoonist on his pin.
Yeah, but here he is. Here's the Charlie Hebdo guys.
Yeah,
they're standing about satire, and it's okay to make fun of Jesus. You can make a Jesus cartoon every day, and the PC media will love that. But God forbid you do something about Muhammad or anything, things like that. It's taboo, I guess, because they're afraid to be killed and they're running, running for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
So
it makes you think.
Very curious, isn't it, Graham Nolan?
It is indeed. All right, I got a couple. This one cracked me up. I've got an idea for a story. Gus and Ethel live on Long Island on the North Shore. He works 16 hours a day writing fiction. Ethel never goes out, never does anything except fix Gus sandwiches. And in the end, she becomes a nympho-lesbo killer whore. Here's your sandwich.
Wow.
Here's your sandwich.
This is by the great George Booth, who just passed away this past year. An incredible cartoonist, former Marine in World War II.
Wow.
Look at the shitty attitude that this writer has. He's looking for his muse. Poor woman is stuck delivering him sandwiches.
Well, the thing is too, it looks like they're in paradise, right? Like there's a sailboat, there's the ocean there, and he's all cooped up, just like torturing himself, in front of this typewriter, and she's just like, we could go out and play on the beach and do stuff.
Nympho,
here's your frickin' sandwich.
Nympho, lesbo, killer whore.
She's got better ideas than he
does. Perfect as setup with just a few lines. You know exactly that they live on the North Shore of Long Island.
Yeah, exactly. The sailboats out there. Oh yeah, that's a classic. And then
I thought it was him saying the bit until the here's your sandwich.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah.
Which is where the flip comes for me. It's great.
This one you don't even need a drawing for.
Yeah.
Well, good, because it's pretty bad.
Yeah, the drawing sucks in this, but the gag is so great.
Oh,
Son,
yeah.
if you can't say something nice, say something clever but devastating.
That's great.
Oh, that is so great. That is so great. It's too bad that wasn't handled by a better artist.
Yeah, that perspective. We were talking about all these other guys doing these great perspective drawings, and that is like all wrong.
This
on
is
every
like
level.
junior college illustration 101.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah. So, here we go.
Good stuff.
Anybody got anything else?
Yeah, I wanted to show this. I showed this before the show started. This piece I got, and I did a little
Let me
research.
put you big here so we can see
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it over here.
He's not a little
that's
fella
cool.
anymore.
So this is from it's a King's Feature Syndicate, and the gag is what's happening.
In the morning.
I've been away, and it's 1966, so it's referring obviously to the Batman TV craze of that period of time. Now here's the story. I was at SunCon.
Before you go into it, Aaron, just give me the artist's name. I'm going to look him up while you're telling the
Oh,
story.
I did. That's the kicker to the story. The artist is Don Flowers, but Don Flowers passed away in 1968.
Ooh.
Okay.
On Flowers' last cartoon.
No, well, here's
Not
the
to me.
thing. What happened was, I think
Wow.
the guy that gave me this was ghosting for him whatever strip he was doing, and he gave me this piece. But I believe this is an actual Don Flowers. I don't think it's what this other guy was doing, but it's pretty interesting. Because I met this guy at a con like in the 90s when Josh was just a baby, and he gave us this because we were sitting next to him at the show for Josh. Of course, I kept it, but
Was
yeah.
the guy ghosting for him after he passed away?
Right. Well, because
Oh.
I mean, this was in the 90s. So then this guy was, wasn't familiar with who Don Flowers was, but like Graham said, if you look him up, he was actually a prominent syndicated cartoonist, but he died in 68.
Beautiful, beautiful work. My God, look
That's
at that
great.
ink line.
So I'm
good.
going to assume, since this would have only been relevant in 1966 because of the TV show, the Batman TV show, that this has to have been done back in 66.
Yeah.
And was
Cartoonist Art Roadshow.
Yeah. And yeah, so I'm trying. My remembrance of the conversation I had with this guy was vague because I was probably sketching for somebody else, and my wife was probably talking to him more than I was. But yeah, I believe he was the guy that was ghosting for Don Flowers on whatever strip Don Flowers was doing. But he gave us this as a present.
What a gift!
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
when you're not
you know who is
pissing
an artist?
people off, Aaron, you're impressing them,
Yeah.
and they
well,
give you stuff.
It might have been Shelley though that actually did the impressing because I was like, sketching,
That
and she
makes
was
sense.
sitting in between us, and so
But
she
would
probably
that guy have
stopped
been
me
an
there.
art dealer?
No, he was a cartoonist.
He was. Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't
That
piss
is
him
great.
off, obviously. So well done. Attaboy.
No. Well, maybe he's pissed at me now, though. I don't know. He gave it to me. Maybe I pissed him off after he gave it to me.
He's like, I gave that fucker for his
He's mad now because you gave it to your son and you're still holding it.
Mhm. Well, you gotta have someone that really appreciates what it is. So.
And that thing's only worth $10,000.
It'll be interesting. I don't know. I don't know enough about Don Flowers still. I mean, but I'm assuming again that this is actually Don Flowers' work and not the guy that was ghosting him.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
they
it
still,
looks
even when
like
they ghost him, they would still sign, the artist's name, even if the artist wasn't the guy working on it.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
Would they do it after that person died?
probably. I mean, it's like Garfield or something, right? If they,
Isn't Davis still alive?
yeah,
he's
but
still
I'm just
alive.
saying. I'm just
He
saying,
hasn't drawn it.
Jim
in 30
Davis
years.
died and they kept doing Garfield, they would still probably contractually have to sign it Jim Davis, right? I mean, I don't know.
It
But,
depends on the deal. It's like when you mentioned McNelly. When McNelly died, it now says Jeff McNelly's shoe, but the artwork is signed by Brookins or whoever it was that was doing it.
Okay.
But
then this
that's,
probably
I
is
mean,
Don
but
Flowers.
look at how long Bob Kane's name was on Batman with no credit for anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, this is signed Don Flowers, so maybe that's probably true then. That probably was an actual Flowers drawing and not the guy that was doing the syndication. So
It seemed like it.
There you are.
Hey, Evil One, thank you for that $2 super chat. Aaron, he got his hat. Calling you Aaron Gonzalez now.
Because of Speedy, because I'm Speedy. Got it out to him just
You're
like
quick.
that.
That's it.
All right.
Very
You can,
nice.
you don't need me to be full screen anymore.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's so beautiful, though.
Yeah,
I know.
there you go. Now I feel better. I feel like
All right.
again.
All right, so that was a great show, guys. We've gone, an hour and a half here. So you guys wanted to give a little pitch for your campaign
Indeed.
before
Let's
we
all
roll
pitch
out?
and woo.
Oh, but before we do this, Graham, this was a lot of fun, man. It was a great topic.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Please, everybody in the chat, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, hit that notification button, and subscribe to my channel and to the channel of the other bros here. That way you'll get your notifications when we go live, and you won't miss anything. So please do that.
Yes.
And it helps the algorithms and helps us to monetize this because, you know, the StreamYard ain't cheap.
It's
No,
not. It is not.
It is not cheap.
So,
Oh, okay. So I guess we're going to go around and hawk our wares.
sure.
Okay. Wraith of God Blood Hunters, you'll find it. Did you put them in the description of the video, Graham?
Yes.
Okay. So the link is there. And it's still alive and well. I've got pages done on every single one of the stories. It adds up to 100 pages of good stuff. I did just do this, which is there's a Esther, Queen of Hearts playing card. This is the art for it. It's going to get flipped, obviously, so that, you know, the card works both ways.
That's so cool.
But I just finished this. And also, I want everybody to know that I'm doing a second printing of the original Wraith of God graphic novel, and that campaign is going to go live next week, probably on Thursday, but I'm not sure. But I'll let everybody know days ahead of time, since I didn't do an early sign up because I didn't want to risk getting shadow banned, and or at least not immediately. And so keep your eyes open for that.
Oh, that's so sad, Aaron.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
It's like already so defeated. You're not going to get shadow banned this time. I think
Poor
they
guy
found
didn't
them
get
all.
shadow banned.
I haven't yet.
I know. That's encouraging to me that maybe.
Yeah, I haven't either yet. Thank goodness.
But I know Mark Polton just launched his, and he's shadow banned, and
Is
Phil
he?
Diaz got
Yep.
shadow
Yeah,
banned.
I saw that.
Maybe you should change it to nothing for nothing, but maybe you should change it to, instead of Aaron Lopresti running it or Empire Comics, to Shelley Lopresti.
Because everybody likes Shelley.
Yeah, because
true.
they don't want to. I don't think they would want to shadow ban a woman because, knock on wood, my campaign is run by Deborah Tucci, and
Well,
Green
Mandy's
is
new one
Irene
is.
Strikalski, and she's not shadow banned.
Is there
I think
like
Mandy's
ma-
is.
Yeah, but
is there
Mandy is.
something?
Oh,
Is there
Mandy is.
something in maybe the content that they're not saying? Like, was there something in Mark's that, like, is there any extra boobage or any extra blood or like?
That's
But
I don't know.
That's really irrelevant because it's not a question of what it is. It's a question of letting us know what it is, and that's the
Right.
problem. There's no communication. It's just bam, you're shadow banned. You're not given any opportunity to.
Well, that's
to
the
change
dude. That's the
something.
new
Right.
warfare. I've been
Yeah.
experienced. My Instagram got demonetized back in April over a picture of a keyboard, and I still, after almost a year of saying, please reevaluate this, look at this. What broke the rule here? I don't understand. I've reread your community guidelines. Nobody answers. And I feel like that's like the new like warfare of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not.
So
not
that was
on
Instagram, Dan,
That was Instagram.
and
yeah.
it was a picture of a keyboard like this.
Of a Procreate shortcut keyboard.
Oh, okay.
Like quick keys.
Yeah.
No symbol on it. No symbol on it was weird. You know, a lot of people looked at it and were like, "Oh, that could be perceived as, you know, a set of doodads or whatever." And I'm like, still, it's a keyboard, and the people that make this post pictures of it all the time.
Right.
So how did I violate any policy? And I went through one by one, and I'm like, I didn't violate a policy, but no one will answer. Nobody.
No, they won't.
Someone's telling me now that Indiegogo put in their terms of service that they do not have to promote and or make your campaign visible solely by their own discretion.
Is that
So
right?
whatever
Yep.
reason
That's what someone told me, that it's in. I think Polton's the one who told me that it's now in their description that they don't have to.
It always was that they didn't have to promote it. That was in there before. They were under no obligation to promote it, and I get that. Okay, but to block it from search engines,
they have
because
according
they're
to
making money.
I know.
Well, this is the thing. This is why it is completely unethical. Other than just shadow banning you for no reason, is that if they do it while the campaign is active and you've already generated money, that means you've already done a job. You've already worked for that money. That money is yours. And when they do this stuff after the fact, I think that is completely unethical. They could have done their due diligence before you even launched, right? And they could be on the complete up and up. They could do their research and go, you know what? This doesn't meet our standards. We're not going to green light it. Right. That is way better than, once you've already started your campaign, and you're depending on that money. This is how we survive. This is our livelihoods. And they're messing with that. That's where I just that pisses me off, that part.
Yeah. But it's like, why use the service at all if it's unsearchable?
Right.
And that's the big thing. I mean, if you're
at that point.
Well, sometimes they'll just cancel it. Kind of. I mean, this wasn't Indiegogo, but like what happened to Mike Barron and Chris Brawley with what was it, Crowdfunder? They just canceled it. They just nuked it. It was gone. What about all that money that they generated? Where does that go? Didn't they earn that? They act like, no, it's not your money. It's our money. And we're just going to give it back to, the backers.
Right. Yeah, it's their money until your tax time shows up, and then it's our money.
Right.
That's how they list it. It's not their money, but yet they have control.
Yeah, but the
over
thing
it.
is, the only reason they can do it is because they have the control of the money up front. If it was the other way around, they couldn't play that game. If the money came directly to us and then they had a problem, they would have to ask us for the money back. And that's the biggest difference. They have all the balls, and they're gonna fuck you over if they want to. Yeah.
Andy?
Well, I'm just trying to read what this says. Andy and Aaron both upset Twitter last year, and Graham did manly tales. Both upset Twitter.
Manly.
Good night, buddy.
Anyhow, Draft the Reckoning, 76 pages, barbarian ball busting action. Go check it out. 46. I started penciling page 47 today.
Nice.
And 31 pages are colored, and the colorist has more pages. I just sent them as well. So go check it out. It's a fun barbarian tale, and there's a game module as well. So if you like role-playing games like D&D and Pathfinder, you can easily play your characters with this role-playing game, or use the core draft characters.
Sweet.
Ooh. I'll have to send out an update tomorrow. Thanks for the info, Randy.
20 cents Canadian. Congrats, Andy.
I think someone's got to go live either tomorrow, so they have a little celebratory afternoon hangout stream for hitting 80K.
Afternoon delight. Well, actually, tomorrow in the Dennis and Andy show, we will bring that up, and Mark Polton is actually joining us tomorrow on that show, along with creator Justin Sweet, to talk about their new campaigns. So 5 o'clock tomorrow.
That is so sweet.
There you go.
Sweet.
Well, Black and White is still in demand. Working every day, working my butt off on this project. I have a new page to share if you'd like to see it. Let me find it. Here it is. Share. Let's see this bad boy. This is page 54.
Woo! And Mama Jama.
I saw your work in progress on this one.
Wow.
Epic battle. Thank
Can
you.
Scroll down a little bit.
Clean.
This
Art,
is
can you scroll up or down?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm scrolling down right now. So this is a robot gore right here. This is what it looks like in black and white. So this bot is getting his brains splattered. I
Where's
love
Wendy
doing.
with the butt? Any
What's
butt?
that? You want to see what?
Oh, that's what I'm looking for, right there. There you go. That's what we.
There you go.
That's what we want to see.
Yeah. So this is black and white, sticking it to the bots, and taking names, and we got a little bit of a backup coming in here. Brooks Gray and Uncle Yee bringing in some reinforcements, and they're going to kick some robot ass here. So, like I said, black and white is a labor of love. I'm so happy that all the backers have given me this opportunity to do this book and to do it right. And to do these things right takes a little bit of time. So I do appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for backing CG and the like, all the backers. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for making this 25, 26 years. How long has it been, Dan? This dream come true.
It depends on when you clock it. What was the first appearance that
was it 94? Is that when we did that black? What was it?
Well, Extreme Zero.
Zero, yeah.
Was, I think that was 94.
Yeah.
But I think with Black Flag there was like 93 was the first, like there were like appearances in little things. But not like story stuff, but like It's Coming, that sort of deal. So we could go with 94 probably.
Yeah,
so
I think it was 94.
29 years.
29 years, almost 30 years. So
yeah.
This has been a long time coming. So thank you guys so much for helping me bring this thing back. I do appreciate it.
Yeah,
awesome.
And piggybacking on what
Thanks.
Art said, big thank you to everybody that allows us to do this. I call my book The Late But Great because obviously I'm late, but we are busting our balls to get this thing to you. Matt Yackey is going to be getting me some colors here. We got a big update coming in the next week or two for you guys to see what's been bubbling over the last few months. Very excited to bring it to you. And for those that are unfamiliar with the campaign, it is called Black Flag Pineapple Perception. We've got Murderer's Row as far as some of the supplemental stuff. And when I say supplemental, it is at no additional charge. When you get the book, you get a 22-page comic, Black Flag 0.5, 3 fold-in posters and stickers, all for the price of one book. And that 0.5 comes with artwork by Pat Lee from Transformers and Dark Minds. Shane Davis did a piece. You know Shane. If you don't know Shane, you got to check out Inglorious Rex 2 and Starlight Cats. We've got brand new talent in there by this guy named Art Jedi, who's got a book available to sign up on Indiegogo right now called Amarok. And we've got 6 a.m. comics in there. We've got Matt Weldon did some work in there. Charlie Snogans of Fatal did some work in there. Billy Basco. Oh yeah, he's terrific. God. So this is a campaign that's chock packed full of features and wonderful art. So if you haven't yet, check it out on Indiegogo. If you have, thank you as always for your support and patience.
And Jaime Mendoza throwing inks over you. That's fantastic,
correct.
Man.
That is correct.
Let's not forget, Dan, that nobody remembers that Neil Adams was late on all his projects. All they remember is how great those Neil Adams comics were.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't even know his stuff was late. I just, like you said, I look at that
that's
stuff.
why he'd do like a few issues here, a few issues there. His run on Detective is like sporadic.
And the legend is, what is the Superman Muhammad Ali? There was going to be a bonus involved for Dick and Neil. And Neil screwed the deadline, so Dick didn't get his bonus.
Yeah, the other guy that Travis Charest. The legend has it that if he got a page done, like Scott Dunbar would give him a bonus, but if he didn't, he'd have to give Scott artwork. and Scott got a lot of artwork.
Well, what was that Meta Barons? That legendary Meta Barons? There's like 4 pages done out of.
He never finished it.
He never finished it. It took him years.
Well, I'm finishing this book. I've got this steamroller of content that's already done and ready to go on the heels of this. We've got Grave, we got the Black Flag Compendium. So I need to get this book out and done and into people's hands so they can have some more faith in this brand.
Jimmy Reyes needs all y'all help and support as he has a panic attack. Over.
Why do you have a panic attack?
Oh.
No.
I'm like a real panic attack?
Oh, jeez. Hope not.
Jeez,
No, panic attacks suck, man. I've had them my whole life.
Really?
Yeah. Dragon Rage. Oh, yeah. Since I was... Dude, I'll tell you, the first time I ever had a panic attack, and this is for anybody that's ever experienced them, just know you're not alone. No, I was 12.
I don't mean to make light of it. That was
no. I was 12. I was a super nerdy kid. Same guy that you see today. But this popular girl, cheerleader, invited me to a pizza party during Christmas time. And I remember I bought her this little present, and she goes into the pizza parlor. And I remember putting my hand on the door and not being able to open it, and feeling like I couldn't breathe, and then feeling like my heart like pounding and feeling like I was going to pass out. And I couldn't open the door because I felt like I was going to screw the moment up. I was going to walk into these popular kids and they're going to say, "Why'd you bring this nerd here?" Like every fear that you could ever have. And then that was the first time I ever had one. And I remember I almost had a really bad one going in. There was one of those conventions at the Staples Center in LA. And I remember I was going down the escalator heading to the hall, and I literally thought I was gonna I got super lightheaded and I thought I was gonna just tumble down the escalator. And then all the thoughts came into my head. They're gonna go, "Why is Fraga laid out on the floor?" And like it made me even like, have more. Anyway.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No, I get them probably 3 or 4 times a year. A lot of time it's when I'm driving, or like when there's transitional changes, like going from one thing to another. Like getting in like staying home, I'm totally fine. But if my wife's like, "Yeah, we got to go out to dinner," sometimes we'll be going to dinner and I'll feel trapped in the car, especially if there's like a traffic jam. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's like that scene.
Claustrophobic, Dan?
I'm not claustrophobic.
Oh.
No.
Just curious.
At all.
It's like that scene in Wayne's World where Garth is like, "We fear change," and he starts hitting that hand with the hammer.
Yeah. But no, I'll tell you. That's
smoking pot and heavy drinking will help with that. Dan.
I was just gonna say, Art recommends blowing a fatty if you have anxiety.
Yeah,
that's right.
But smoking weed is good. I haven't had a drink in 73 days, so. But I had taken those few weeks off of smoking the weed, and then when I said, "Hey, I'm going to try it again," I was like, same old response as ever. Why did I stop? I'm just better, and I have less of that.
I know a few people, and I think we know some of the same people, Dan, that actually are better after they've had a couple hits.
Attitude adjustments.
Yeah,
that's what one of my friends would say. I got to go have an attitude adjustment.
Some of them are a little high strung, so
life made better by pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Tucci, what do you got?
For our little campaign, 13 days left. Zombie Sama, there it is. We're across $21,000. Thank you, everybody, over on Kickstarter, which just launched a few days ago. We're over 13,000 on that. Yes. And cool news is that all the pencils, inks, lettering, covers are all done, and the colors are coming in the end of this week, the final colors. Yeah. And then this book is off to the printers. So there's going to be a very fast campaign. It's a book that we're really proud of, 104 pages of just full color, good old undead goodness.
Yes.
And when do you fulfill on this, Billy? When are you fulfilling?
The end of April, I guess. We start at the end of April.
All right.
It's going to take a while for the books to get made, obviously.
Right.
Everything takes so long to print now. This is it's holding me up. But yeah, because we're gonna launch the Shi Senryaku Omnibus Edition in May, early May. So we got to get this book out.
Yeah,
So
good,
this
good.
will
So
be very
folks,
fast.
if you haven't backed this thing, back it now because it's going to be shipping soon. You'll have a short wait.
Yep, and it's a gorgeous book. It's a gorgeous, fun book.
Well,
Is this the one that has the Rini cover?
Yep. Read if you scroll. Oh, I had it.
Yeah, you have to scroll.
Yeah.
While you're scrolling, I want to.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Yep.
That is sweet.
I want to remind people that it's St. Patty's Day on Friday.
So drink a lot of.
I was going to get to that, Dan.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad.
Thank you all for supporting us.
I'm thinking about that corned beef, bro. I'm like, that's my.
I hear you. I hear you.
So what's happening Friday?
It's the High Holy Day, folks.
Oh,
So,
Well, you know how I celebrate. I go down to McDonald's and get the Shamrock Shakes.
Oh,
Yeah,
the shakes.
baby.
The Shamrock
Lord, sugar.
Shakes.
The shakes.
So, Compass Comics, we have 2 campaigns going right now. The
Oh,
Ghost of
yeah.
Matacumba Key, which is going to tie everything together in the Nolanverse. All the other stories and stuff are all going to tie together with this. Got a bunch of variant covers. You guys can scroll around and check this out. We'll be fulfilling this in August. Okay.
Amazing.
But the other one is Joe Frankenstein. Now, Joe is part of the Nolanverse, and this book is not going in demand. This is a short campaign. It's going 30 days. There's 17 days left. We have 53 or 939 backers. Actually, I think we got more than that. Let me see. Yep. Yeah, we have 940 backers on it now.
Oh my God! Almost 1,000
woo!
backers.
You
On
want to
your
get
way.
on board this thing while you can because it won't be made available at this price once the campaign goes down. And you're going to want to read Joe Frankenstein Part 1 and Part 2 before you read The Ghost of Matacumba Key, so that the big reveal at the end of Ghosts will resonate with you. So just to let you know, these are great books. This one was co-written with Chuck Dixon and me, and we've got some fun stuff in storage. So, if you haven't taken a look at it, this one is not shadow banned. You can search it for now, and but the links are all in the description, and our mods have done a great job of putting the links on the side here in the chat too as well.
Yes,
Do you use a model for Joe Frankenstein's face because he's so consistent?
Well, it's based, of course, on Boris Karloff's face.
Yeah.
So, I don't look at pictures of Boris. I study his face, and then I keep those features in my mind when I'm drawing it. But it's, Universal Studios has a lock on the makeup for Karloff and Karloff.
That and the bolts. When I worked at Mattel, we had a character in Monster High called Frankie Stein, and we had an exclusive deal with them for distribution. That's why you saw Universal in front of all of our movies. But then once that deal was up, they did a whole retooling, and Frankie, she lost the bolts. She lost
bolted.
Little things that were like that flat head and the bolts in the neck and all that are like trademarked to them.
Right. So I didn't draw any bolts. I put the head scar and clamps on him differently. I even put like a screw into his head, which you would unscrew and then you would stick like an electrode type thing into the side of his head to power him.
Why is that guy so mad at that guy trying to touch his pizza?
Dude, it's Pi Day, bro.
Pizza, man.
3/14.
He might be sprinkling pineapples on it, Billy.
I like that it's some kind of holy pizza that's making the vampires burn.
It's garlic. It's the garlic.
Garlic
Yeah.
pizza. Oh, okay.
It's the garlic in the pizza and in the pepperonis.
Hey, Graham, doesn't Universal hold some kind of copyright over the Frankenstein's monster, and it's just the bolts?
Weren't we just talking about that?
We just talked about
Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Billy.
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that conversation, Billy. It's okay.
Understand.
Sorry,
I'm the pot smoker, right?
I'm tired, man. I'm tired.
Contact high, right down there.
I'm like staring, right? I'm just like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Billy's about to pass
Somebody
out.
needs a drinky poo.
Yeah.
Somebody needs a nappy poo.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
right.
too.
But there's one thing, Graham, that I envy your consistency. Every day I strive to get make sure the characters look the same every time. And like I got this like 3/4 view. Okay, I can nail it each time, but then it's a front view or it's a profile or whatever, and then all of a sudden they kind of slightly turn into these different characters, you know. And
Yeah,
and,
you almost have to do model sheets.
Yeah, there is something to, but even I've done model sheets. The thing is, you have to have the model sheets kind of to come back to all the time. Like for me, when I'm drawing and I really need to stay on track, I have that reference. You know, if it's the model sheets, like I have them there. So every time I look up, I see them. So I can remember, you know, oh, this is how they
get
look.
Get a maquette done of your mains, right? They like you can turn like this. I buy these just to work on angles. Like when I practice faces, I've got like an Arnold. It's pretty decent likeness.
That's real good. Pretty decent. That's totally you on model.
Look at how beautiful I am. I asked my wife for a Christmas present. I said I wanted the little head, and this is what I got.
This is what you got. A little head.
Weightlifting is like coming and coming.
Get in the chopper.
Yeah. Well, I have like maquettes of the Chrono Mechanics. I don't think you can see them. Oh, let me see if I can move the lamp here.
I see your yellow kid back there.
Can you see it right there with the spotlight?
Oh yeah. There he is.
That's about 2 feet, and that's a maquette sculpted by the great Mike Smithson, who did all the maquettes for the Shrek movies, and he also did the makeup and design for a Fat Bastard in Austin Power.
That's disgusting.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. It's cool, like your peer group when you grow up, right? Like he was a roommate. We were all like, you know, struggling artists and things, and every one of us went off to go do something, you know, pretty cool.
Magic days, man.
Yeah.
Magic times.
All right,
That's
gang.
cool.
So we're gonna sign off here. Next week we go back to Aaron, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Lopez.
Yeah.
Well, now that he's Lopez, isn't he he changes position in the alphabet? So.
Oh, that's right.
So we go to Andy.
Oh, you get pushed back.
Well,
Aaron.
he's technically a little fella, so
Okay.
Little fella.
But if he was Lopez,
He's still ahead of Andy
Graham
because
anyway.
AL.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We should just call you Al Lopez.
Let's call me
How
Al.
about Trini? We'll call him Trini Lopez.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have so many nicknames. It's gonna be horrible.
Did you get my message on Facebook, Aaron?
I did. Thank you for the kind words, Billy. Gee, Merry Christmas.
And Aaron, did you get the link in the private chat?
Email.
Yes, there it is.
Okay. All right.
Got it.
Just make sure you copy that before we close it down so you can get it.
Yep. Do it right now. There we go.
All right, my friends. Thank you so much. Hit that like button on the way out and subscribe to all the Bros channels here so you get notifications when we go live. We will see you Monday on the Kings, and then Tuesday bless you. We'll be back here for Aaron's show. Who knows what he's going to do?
Who knows?
No idea.
Who knows?
I know what I'm going to do.
All right.
Shadow knows.
So you guys have a great evening, and we'll catch you later. Bye now.
Great show, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.